Welcome to Let's Chat, Summer Slumps. The first day of summer is right around the corner on June 20. Summer means longer days, lighter schedules, and, for many marketers, lighter engagement. But what if a seasonal slowdown isn't a signal to do more, but to do things differently?
That really captures the core challenge, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For anyone in marketing or brand leadership, there's this feeling when summer hits, usually June through August, things just slow down. You get the vacations, the out-of-office replies just piling up. And it's a global thing, too. You hear that phrase, Europe sleeps.
Yeah.
Right? Because significant parts of the continent take those long breaks, and that really impacts international business. It's not just a feeling, it's part of the business calendar.
Right. And we actually looked at some data on this for the deep dive. The Gaining the Competitive Edge report, it found, get this, 95% of B2B businesses said customer or prospect holidays were a major factor in their seasonal slowdowns.
95%. Wow.
95. So it's clearly not some small niche issue. It's pretty much everyone.
It really is. And I think maybe the gut reaction, when engagement dips is, okay, let's just do more.
Right. More emails, more ads.
Yeah, send more, run more promos, just try to force it. But what the sources we're looking at here really suggest is, well, maybe the problem isn't just less happening. Maybe it's that the audience is just in a fundamentally different headspace.
Okay, let's unpack that because that feels like the key shift in thinking. It's not just slow, it's different. And what's really interesting is how different it looks depending on your industry, right?
Totally. It's not one size fits all at all. How your audience uses their devices, their mindset, what they actually need in summer, it changes dramatically. And those changes look very different sector by sector. So the trick is adapting to those shifts, not just fighting the overall slowdown.
Okay, let's walk through some of the examples the sources brought up. Retail and e-commerce. My inbox is already bracing itself for the summer sale onslaught.
Yeah, we all know that feeling.
But the research says engagement actually dips after Memorial Day.
But then it picks up again pretty significantly as you get closer to back to school.
Ah, okay.
So for retail, the takeaway is that just blasting promotions all summer probably isn't super effective. You need smarter segmentation, better timing, catching people when they might actually be thinking about buying, maybe prepping for a trip or looking ahead to the fall.
Makes sense.
And what's really interesting and shows how brands are trying to adapt is this trend of manufacturing demand.
Manufacturing demand, how so?
Well, think about Prime Day or Best Buy doing Black Friday in July, Target Circle Week. They're basically creating their own little shopping holidays midsummer to get people spending and generate buzz when things might otherwise be quiet.
That is clever. If the natural peaks aren't there, just make a new one. Okay, what about media and entertainment? Personally, my screen time definitely goes up if I'm on vacation or just have more downtime.
You and millions of others, that's a huge trend. Streaming, mobile content consumption, it soars in the summer. Absolutely prime time. But specifically for engaging users inside the app, think personalized recommendations. You watch this, maybe you like that. Timely push notifications about new shows or movies that fit their taste. They're already there on their phone looking for something to watch or listen to.
Okay, so while B2B might be slowing, some B2C areas are actually heating up differently. Different channels, different needs. Now, travel and hospitality, summer's got to be their peak season, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's their moment. For them, everything has to be mobile first and real time. Their customers are literally moving.
Right, on the go.
They need instant updates on their itinerary, last-minute offers that pop up when they're actually looking, maybe location-based suggestions for things nearby. Engaging them in that moment is crucial, not just for service, but maybe for upsells too.
Yeah, meeting them right where they are physically and mentally. Okay, then there are industries like fintech and insurance. I mean, who's thinking about refinancing or complex financial products while they're trying to relax by the pool?
Exactly. Probably not many. Transactional engagement is likely way down. But the sources point out this is actually a really strong time to shift gears, build brand trust, focus on education, relationship building.
How would that look?
Instead of pushing alone, maybe offer summer savings tips, or send a reminder about travel insurance before they head off, or just a gentle nudge for a financial wellness check-in before things get busy again later in the year. It's about being helpful and relevant without the hard sell.
So using that downtime to build the relationship, become a trusted resource for when they are ready to transact later. Interesting. Okay, so the big picture across all of these isn't just summer slow. It's summer means your audience is in a different place. mentally and maybe physically, with different needs. And your strategy has got to be adaptive, timing, relevance, channel, all of it.
Precisely. Which leads us right into something the sources flagged as a really common mistake.
We saw some numbers in GetApp's 2024 advertising preferences survey that were pretty eye-opening.
Okay, hit me with the numbers. What happens when you shout louder?
Well, according to their survey, 40% of consumers unsubscribe from a brand's communications every week. Think about that churn. Almost half your audience actively opting out over just a few months if you're not careful. People are overwhelmed. They're curating ruthlessly.
No kidding, that's a constant battle. And it gets more specific. 56%, more than half, will opt out if they get just 4 or more messages from a brand in only 90 days.
That seems incredibly low if you're sending emails daily or even weekly.
You're way past that threshold for a majority of people, miles past it.
Wow.
And it shows consumers aren't just ignoring messages they don't want. They're actively punishing brands for sending too much, for being irrelevant. So the fix isn't more volume, it's being way smarter, much more targeted, focusing only on the moment that actually mattered to that customer in their summer context.
Okay, this raises a really important question then. If people aren't responding to the usual sales pushes and sending more stuff actually drives them away, do you just stop marketing in the summer? Just accept the dip?
The sources argue pretty strongly that would be just as big a mistake. Yes, those high-intent signals, adding to cart, requesting a demo, might be weaker.
Yeah.
But this period is actually incredibly valuable for upper funnel stuff.
Like brand building.
Exactly. Building that long-term brand equity, fostering real affinity.
Investing in brand when people aren't buying,
Yeah.
that feels like a tough sell internally sometimes when everyone's focused on Q3 numbers.
It can feel counterintuitive, absolutely, if you're only looking at immediate ROI. But think longer term, engaging people across channels during these less transactional times. It's not about getting a sale right now. It's about staying top of mind, building that relationship.
So when they are ready.
Exactly. When peak season hits later Q4 for retail, back to school, whatever it is for your industry, the customers who've had a positive, recent, maybe non-salesy interaction, they'll remember you. They'll be more receptive. You're essentially planting seeds.
Okay, so shifting from purely transactional to more relational for this specific season. Building that connection pays off down the line, especially in those really seasonal businesses.
Precisely. Instead of pushing hard for conversions that probably aren't going to happen anyway, use the summer to tell your story. Share customer successes, give a peek behind the scenes, run campaigns based on shared values, just keep the brand warm. So it's remembered when purchase intent comes back online.
Okay, besides that shift, what other maybe strategic opportunities does this summer period offer?
Yeah, the sources really push this idea of framing summer not just as a hurdle, but as a real strategic window, almost like a sandbox for experimentation. Think about digital ad costs. CPMs, the cost per 1,000 impressions, they often soften a bit mid-year.
Why is that?
Because some brands do pull back their spending. They pause campaigns during summer. So for those who stay active, it can actually create a less crowded, lower-cost environment to advertise in.
Okay, now this is really interesting. Lower costs mean cheaper experiments.
Basically, yes. If the pressure for immediate results is slightly lower, and the cost to reach people is potentially down, it's the perfect time to test things out.
Like what kind of things?
Run those A/B tests on different content formats you've been meaning to try. Experiment with a new influencer partnership, perhaps. Test out some AI-generated creative variations. Try different messaging angles or calls to action. You use this lower-cost period to learn what works before you unleash the big budgets in Q4.
Makes total sense. And you mentioned earlier, people are in a different context in summer. Often not at their desks. Where are they then? And how do we reach them?
Great question. Summer usually means more movement. People are outside more, they're traveling, routines are less fixed. Email opens might drop because, they're not glued to their work inbox. But mobile usage often goes up.
For leisure navigation.
Entertainment, communication, planning activities. So the key is to diversify beyond just email. Meet them where they actually are, which is often on their phones.
So double down on mobile.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's prime time for a truly mobile-first approach, leveraging channels that feel more immediate and more relevant to someone who isn't sitting at a computer.
Like push notifications.
Yeah.
Or messages within the app itself.
They're fantastic for real-time relevance, a timely nudge, some contextual content, an update that matters right now while they're already using the app. It feels much less like an interruption than an email landing in an inbox they might not check for days.
Okay. And what about SMS texting? Feels very direct.
It is direct, which is its strength and weakness. SMS and MMS can be great for cutting through the noise when emails being ignored. Think quick, urgent reminders. Flash offers maybe? Essential updates. It's a direct line, but you had to use it sparingly, carefully, so you don't become part of that frequency problem we talked about.
Right, preserve the channel. And globally, channels like WhatsApp.
Oh, absolutely crucial, especially internationally. In many parts of the world, WhatsApp is the main way people communicate. Using it for marketing can offer a really personal, conversational touch. It feels less like a broadcast, more like a direct, helpful connection. Plus, you can send richer media, like images or short videos.
Summer slumps aren't a stop sign. They're a signal to reset and recognize how your audience wants to engage with you. Lean into smarter strategies that meet customers where they are when they're ready. Want to make mobile your summer superpower? Download Iterable's new mobile marketing guide to learn how, linked in the article of this deep dive. We hope this week's deep dive into summer slumps gave you a few ideas to bring to your next Q3 planning meeting. We'll see you here next week. Same time, same chat.
See you then.